What's up, everybody? Omega's up here, coach of the Tampa Bay Infernape, and I'm bringing you my Week 3 match against Calexto. Sorry I didn't upload Week 2. I was a little busy that week. It wasn't really a good game anyway. It was me versus Hubi, and it was basically him sweeping me with Naganetto. My team is very weak to Naganetto, especially the speed boosting Nasty Plot 1 that he brought. So he got the 4-0 on me, so I was 1-1 going into this week. And this week I'm facing Calexto, if you see his team right here. And his two Ubers are Solgaleo and Rayquaza. Not really the biggest threats in my opinion. And he doesn't really have the fastest team. He does have the Chansey Mega Sableye core. But I do have good things to combat that. As you can see here, my first Pokemon I'm bringing is Terrakion. 2-stab, double stab, substitute, and Swords Dance. This way, when I substitute, the Mega Sableye won't be able to Will-O-Wisp me, the Chansey won't be able to Toxic me. And I can set up on his walls with Swords Dance. The only real issue with this set is Wheezing, but I can just SD in its face, really. And Sonage will 2-KO'd eventually. This thing is faster than his entire team. Like I said, his entire team is very slow. His fastest mon is Galvantula and Virizion. And so I'm pretty sure he's going to be bringing webs, which is what I brought my Latios for. Basically just a bulky speed set with webs, so I can guarantee webs. Nothing is faster than Latios Latios is faster than everything on his team, so I can guarantee defog. Psychic for general stab against his team, and Shadow Ball for the Solgaleo. Pretty standard set. RCS Ghost is going to be one of my win conditions. Terrakion is my other win condition. RCS Ghost with the Swords Dance, Shadow Force, Brick Brace, and Refresh set. This is meant to come in late game and sweep. Once I get rid of the Sticky Web, he has nothing faster than this thing. And it can set up on both the Chansey and the Mega Sableye. Even though Ghost resists Dark and Ghost, I can just Swords Dance in its face, and it can't Will-O-Wisp me, can't Toxic me because of the Refresh, and Brick Break for the Chansey. And then Tapu Bulu, Banded Tapu Bulu. Really, he doesn't have a switch in for this thing. Wheezing is probably his best. Maybe Solgaleo and Wheezing are probably his best switch-ins, but Wheezing and Solgaleo don't like taking Banded Wood Hammers. And so this thing is just going to break through his walls. So I really want to rely on this thing. It's going to do a crap ton of damage to Sableye. So I'm really relying on this thing this week too. Next is going to be Heatran. It's just going to be a max HP, max attack set, modest with Sugar Berry. I'm expecting Earthquake on his Rayquaza, so Sugar Berry, so I can kill it with the HBIs afterwards. But as my physical walls will break his team, his Heatran with the Magma Storm can trap in a wall and kill it too. Not the Chansey, of course, but the Sableye. It can switch in on Will-O-Wisp, it can switch in on Toxic, and it can trap it with Magma Storm. So that's going to be good for that. I don't really need speed on this thing or Bulu, like I said. He not only is his team slow, but he really has a huge speed gap between 80 and 100, and so I could just go with Adamant and Modest for my Pokemon. And then the Drapion, last Pokemon. Decided to bring Drapion because if you look at his team, he has no poison or grounded poison, and so Toxic Spikes was a really good bring in my opinion. Also, I wanted to bring the knockoff for the Chansey's Eviolite, and that's about it for the Drapion. I didn't really want to bring Greninja in this game because he does have the walls. Greninja really isn't that good about breaking walls. Maybe the Ashgren is, but Protean is more momentum based, and I'm definitely thinking he's going to bring his walls this week. And so here's the game. Pretty much brought what I expected. The Mamoswine is a huge threat to every team, really. His double walls and the Wheezing. I think he might have brought the Wheezing for the Terrakion, but he also might have thought that he could Toxic Spike me. But I did bring the Drapion, so I can soak that up. And I'm expecting lead Galvantula in this game. so I'm going to lead with my Bulu. Even if he switches up the Sticky Web, I can go into my Latios afterwards and defog it, as I can get a huge Horn Leech on anything. And I go for the Horn Leech because just in case he bug buzzes me and I would hammer him, he would be able to kill me afterwards because he's Focus Sash most likely. So I get a huge Horn Leech off as he switches into Wheezing. I Horn Leech the Wheezing, and then I can go into my Latios afterwards on the Wheezing. It's not going to be able to do anything to me. Even he protects even, so that's a perfect defog for me as he goes into Mamoswine here. Now, I don't really have anything to switch in on Earthquake and Ice, so I just decide to Psychic him to gauge the damage on this thing, and I see it does very little. I did the calc, and it was supposed to 2KO him. This tells me he's Assault Vest, and so it's not really that good for my Latios. I want to save it just in case he has just in case the Galvantula sets up the defog again. Or excuse me, sets up the Sticky Web again so I can defog it. So I switch into my Drapion, taking any hit because I have the Shukaberry, and I'm faster than him, so I'm going to set up the Toxic Spikes too. As I'm just going to sag Drapion, it's not going to really do anything for me this game. All it did was set up Toxic Spikes, and that's all I wanted. As I go into Terrakion, scare it out. As I substitute, expecting anything to come in. Now I can freely Swords Dance on this Wheezing. As he reveals the Hidden Power Ground, predicting him to want to Will-O-Wisp me in case he does have Will-O-Wisp. I'm going to sub again as he HP grounds, and so I decided to just attack him and gauge the damage, but I miss, unfortunately. As he Hidden Power grounds again, and so I decided to get out of here and go into Heatran. I don't mind the HP ground because of the Shukaberry. And so I'm going to go for the Magma Storm here as he sets up the Toxic Spikes, and it's really unfortunate that Drapion is dead because I can't absorb those Toxic Spikes. But I can win the Hazard Ore right here. Now that I'm trapped, or now that I trapped his Wheezing, I can go for the Stealth Rocks next turn and kill the Galvantula as he protects, which is perfect. Because the Galvantula is now dead, sitting at 25%. And Heatran did its job very well. As he goes into Galvantula, not expecting him to die from rocks, I think. So he goes into Mamoswine here. Don't really have a switch in for Mamoswine. I'm just going to sack the Latios as he Earthquakes, so that's good for me. I just get another poison damage on him as he finishes me off with an Ice Shard. I decided to go to Arceus Ghost here. Brick Break will finish him off from here, and this is a good opportunity for me to set up. So he switches into Sableye as I Swords Dance. I'm assuming. Oh, no, I went for the Brick Break, yeah. Just to try to finish him off here. He goes for the Mega as I Swords Dance to see what he wants to do. He does have a Shadow Claw. That doesn't do that much to me. So I go for the Shadow Force, trying to see what he wants to do, and then he goes into Chansey to take the Shadow Force damage. That's just fine for me because I could just refresh and sit in Chansey's face all day since Seismic Toss can't hit me because I'm a Ghost type. He decides to go for the Heal Bell. That's fine. I can just set up in this thing's face all day. As he reveals the Toxic, which is kind of problematic because I had to stay in and refresh again as he goes into Mega Sableye, tries to finish me off with the Shadow Claw. But I go for a refresh again and go for the Shadow Force once more. At this point in the game, he could have went back into Chansey, but I can just Brick Break him, and this will finish him off since I'm at +4. It really just spells doom for him now. Now that he went into Mega Sableye, because he's not gonna go. It's not gonna be able to go back into Chansey at this point. All he could do is go into Mamoswine and try to finish me off with Ice Shard, but I survived the roll. Even if I didn't live the roll, I could just go into Terrakion or Bulu and pretty much break everything, as his Rayquaza isn't going to be able to kill my Terrakion. It outspeeds it. So I'm just killing everything right here. Break the Chansey, and last Mon is the Rayquaza and since he can't extreme speed me since I'm a Ghost type, I just go for the Shadow Force. As that is the game right there. So good game to Calexto. Week 3 match. Like I said, even if I won the roll, or even if I lost the roll on the Ice Shard, I could have went into Terrakion or Bulu afterwards. probably break down his Mega Sableye as it was poisoned. His Rayquaza doesn't really have a chance to kill the Terrakion since it's faster. So it would have been a interesting game, but that's the game right here. So see you later, guys.